You guys, stay with me for a second. Not everything. Okay. Listen up. Listen up. You with me? Now, she heard it, right? What happened? I did this, so I moved, two pieces of flesh very close to one another. They compressed the air. We live in an atmosphere, right? Those shock waves traveled here, right, into the ear, right? Then they went inside, and you have the eardrum. The eardrum vibrated, and then you have a small bone, right? And the bone moves a little bit. And then, listen. And then the bone, you have a cochlea there. Basically, it goes through an amplification process, and then it turns into an electrical pulse. Literally, a pulse, like beep, like if you touch a battery, if you take, a 9-volt battery and you put your tongue on it, you get a small shock. Why? That's a pulse of electricity, right? That pulse travels into the brain, right? And there, it translates, it basically is compared to every other noises, all the other noises that she ever heard. And then even if she were to have her eyes closed, she would have said, oh yeah, that's somebody snapping their fingers. My point is this. Yeah. יש עצם. Yeah. My point is this. Listen up. Inside of the brain, there are no pictures. Inside of the brain, there are no sounds. Inside of the brain, there is no pixie dust. All that you have inside of the brain are electrical pulses and chemicals. Chemical pulses. Got it? What you are, what your brain is an electrical, chemical machine. That's it. There's nothing more. Which is shocking, I think. And you can prove it. Let me tell you about a very interesting experiment in psychology or in biology, I don't remember. You take two kittens. קחו שני חתתונים. קודם כל זה מזעזע, נכון? אני פעם ראשונה שהבנתי את זה, הייתי קצת יותר מוגר מכן. Take two kittens, right? Put them both in baskets, right? One of them make holes for the legs, right? So one of them has the legs out, the other one is inside the basket. It's a day when it's not, put them, in a darkened room. Don't let them play with each other. The next morning, same exact day. So what happens is that one of them had movement of their limbs. Stay with me, no, I put that aside. It's much more important. One of them had free movement of his limbs, right? And the other one didn't, right? After 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, you know what's going to happen? Both of them are twins. Both of them are part of the same litter. Were born by the same mother. After 3 weeks, you know what's going to happen? One of them is going to be blind. Now, it's shocking. I mean, what the hell does blindness have to do with movement? Here's what happens. When you were young, when you were a baby, what happened is that you did this to the mobile and you hit something and the something moved. And when it came closer, it became bigger. Got it? That is how you realize that things move in space. They become bigger. You notice, the way the light hits you and then goes back, hits your hand and then goes back to your eye. And you learn about reflection. Got it? So the brain, which is a chemical, electrical machine, understood that when it gets these kinds of inputs, this is what it means. Got it? But the kitten that was unable to move, what happened to it? It got all the information. It saw the same exact things that the other kittens saw, but it wasn't able to interact. Got it? It wasn't able to do this until it said, oh, this is when I flex these muscles, when I move, make these electrical pulses, this moves. Oh, and this can move this. It didn't know it. So it behaved like it is blind. Got it? And there is what we call brain plasticity. פלסטיות של המוח, פלסטיות זה היכולת להשתנות. And if you leave a kitten beyond the age of 3 weeks like this, it will forever be blind. It will behave as if it is blind because its brain cannot make any sense of the information that flows in. I only knew that like a year ago about the kittens.
And with that bombshell.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. But this is the nature of reality. Why? Oh, because we're talking about animation, I think.
אוקיי.
דווקא פתולוגיה יותר קשור.
מתחבר לי למילה.
No, we're talking... אמרנו נפש, אז אמרתי אין כזה דבר, ואז הסברתי לכם למה אין כזה דבר. אנחנו מכונות מדהימות, אנחנו יצירה מדהימה של 4.3 ביליון שנים, אבל זה מה אנחנו לא יותר ולא.
כן, אתה חושב שנפש.
אני לא חושב כרגע,
יצירה של אלוהים.
כן. רובי, קצת רוצה לדבר איתי.
כן, שם.
אוקיי, בואו בנה.
זה דבר בריאות הנפש בעצם. אני יכול לכתוב את הקב"ן.
אני לא רלוונטית, יאללה ביי.
When you let me tell you one last thing. When I give people DHA, when I tell them, hey, listen, you should take fish oil because fish oil has EPA of DHA. And if you take DHA, your mood is going to change. You will become less depressed, or you will become you would suddenly suffer far less from ADHD. They think I'm kidding them. And then, 2 months later, they come back to me and they're a different person. By the way, my brother, my mom, I basically told them, DHA, סוג של חומצת שומן חיונית.
נשים בהיריון לוקחות את זה, לא?
נכון, צודק, יפה. למה הן לוקחות את זה? כי זה עוזר לבנות את המוח. Got it? So my point is, no, you saw what I just told you. I told you that if you take a chemical compound, your brain works better. You become less depressed. Understand the connection between, the physics? Exactly, it changes the biochemistry.
מאיפה קונים?
It's fish oil. זה אומגה 3.
זה עולה 200 שקל.
שמן פגים.
כן.
אבא שלי לוקח.
איך, אני לא אוהבת.
Depends on where you buy it from, and depends what you buy. I'm just gonna say it once. If you're interested, DHA, you need to take 700 milligrams per day. EPA, you need to take 1,000 milligrams per day. This is probably the most important thing that you will know about your health, but most of you are not. מעל גיל 25, כן. אבל, שמע, אחי בגיל צעיר יותר, הוא כל הזמן סבל מדיכאון. והאור שלו לא טוב, ומה שאתה רוצה. וכל פעם שהוא מתנהג כאילו הפוך, אני יודע שהוא בעצם הפסיק לקחת שמן דגים, ואני שואל אותו, אתה עדיין לוקח שמן דגים, נכון? כי זה הפוך על הפוך. הוא אומר לי, לא. אני אומר לו, האמת, ידעתי. הוא תמיד, זה פשוט, אתה יכול לראות את זה עליו בקילומטר. הוא בן 20, הוא ילד 85.
רגע, אז אתה אומר לקחת אותו?
כן. בטח ובטח אם יש לך בעיה. לך יש בעיה של קשב קלה. כן. יש אנשים שהפסיקו לקחת ריטלין.
ריטלין זה גם.
לא משנה, ריטלין, לא משנה, עזבו.
רגע, אז איך קונים את זה? כאילו איך קוראים את זה? אחד עומד 3 או 1?
אני אראה לכם שנייה אחת ובזה נגמור.
גם ככה יש לנו 15 שיעורים, יניב, אתה מדבר איתנו מה שאתה...
לא, זה לא... יש אתר שקוראים לו ויטקאסט, אני קורא שם... זהו. מחפשים שם ויטקאסט שלהם. זהו.
וישלחו את זה לארץ?
כן, שולחים את זה לארץ.
קוראים לארץ.
תקני בטח 3 מהספר של הספר.
לא, זה לא. זה לא טוב, ויש לזה גם טעם של דגים לאלספה, לזה יש טעם של תות. הנה זה. ויטקאסט, מי שמעוניין, משם אני קונה, אני לא קשור להם כמובן בשום צורה. fish oil.
זה שתיהם?
מה מפחיד את זה בארץ שלא צריכה את זה מחו"ל?
את תשלמי פשוט פי 4 בארץ.
בסדר.
ו...
על הספר, למשל.
אמרת שזה?